Hi everyone, how are you doing today? So a lot of you people have been complaining about experiencing pseudo-pregnancy in rabbits. That's why I'm making a video about it today. And that is quite rampant in this dry season. It's not been raining, the temperature is quite high. In fact, some people in locations that has higher temperature are experiencing heat stress, and their rabbits are even dying due to heat stress. Also, there are cases of people doing way bill, and for one reason or the other, the animals die in transit due to heat stress. All these are common experiences that people used to have in dry season. But the one that has been rampant lately has been the case of pseudo-pregnancy, which I've been hearing from various subscribers and customers and rabbit farmers, in Nigeria. There is a lot of pseudo-pregnancy going on. And this pseudo-pregnancy happens in rabbit because of various reasons. So we're going to be addressing it today. And some of the things I spoke in my last video, which is how to palpate rabbits, is a major solution to avoiding this pseudo-pregnancy actually. So now that it is high, just like it affects poultry birds, if you have birds, the egg laying potential drops in seasons like this because of the level of heat. They drop drastically. They don't lay so much in season that is having high temperature like this. So the same thing applies to rabbits. They tend to either not conceive or not come on heat or lose pregnancy, and some cases where the cage is not well ventilated, there are higher chances of even them giving birth to stillbirths. It's either they give birth to all the offspring as stillbirths, or a larger percentage of the offspring come out as stillbirth. All these things is because of the level of temperature that is currently ongoing, and that's why I used to advise people. Someone said a video to me yesterday, and in that video was showing me how that the cages were made of wood. There was only net under the cage. The other part of the cage were just wood. So there's almost no enough ventilation for the rabbits, to enjoy. And so sometimes the pregnant doe give birth to stillbirths, and some that even give birth to normal offsprings, they tend to lose them, because there's not enough breeze in the environment. So, and that's why I always talk about the fact that if you're like venturing into rabbit farming, you must take building a proper housing system very, very seriously. You must not joke with it. It's very, very important that you must build a proper cage for them, so as to avoid the possibility of this kind of experience, which is not good, and also a major way to avoid pseudo-pregnancy in rabbits is one, make sure that you deworm your female rabbit before you cross them again. That is probably after they have nursed their kids and you are getting them ready to recover and cross and cross again. Before you cross them, you can deworm them. You can deworm them with ivermectin injection. If you don't know how to inject a rabbit, you can actually use the oral ivermectin. Yes, you can. That oral ivermectin can be administered via their water. So you can do that for 3 days. Deworm your rabbit before you cross them again. That's number one. Number two is that make sure that your environment, your cage, is well ventilated. If the heat is too much, the rabbit may not conceive, may not come on heat, and may not deliver well. It might deliver more of stillbirth. So to avoid those kind of complications, you can just ensure that your cage is well ventilated, so that will not be the case when the rabbits start giving birth. Then the next one is that palpate your rabbit. In fact, this one will save you. I mentioned it in that palpation video. Maybe I will have to make another video on palpate rabbit again, because the rate at which people are discussing with me about this pseudo-pregnancy experience is really bad. It's really, really bad. Like, a lot of people have wasted in the past 3 months and their rabbit has not been able to deliver. Many of them crossed the rabbit successfully. Were expecting that the rabbit would deliver, and for whatever reason, the rabbit just wouldn't deliver. So because of that, I had to make this particular video. So to avoid a kind of failure, palpate your rabbit on day 15 or 16. Anything from 15 days after crossing, palpate your rabbit so as to be sure that your rabbit is pregnant and that you are expecting babies. If you are not sure and you are just hoping that because you cross your rabbit, the rabbit is pregnant, you might get yourself disappointed. This has happened with a lot of people over time. So in order not to get that disappointment, the best thing to do is to palpate your rabbit anything from 2 weeks after you have crossed the rabbit. From 15 days upward, palpate the rabbit so that you can feel the filter that is growing inside of them. That way you will be sure. You will not be assuming your rabbit is pregnant when your rabbit is not pregnant. You can be certain. That assurance can be there. You need to be sure that your rabbit is pregnant, and so you can prepare for the delivery. But if you are not sure, you might be disappointed. Now, in cases where there is pseudo-pregnancy, most of the time it used to end between 16 to 17, 18 days after crossing. That is, the rabbit will literally even pull the four on the 15th day inside the cage. By 15 days, that's the half of the normal pregnancy cycle, which is 30 days. So you know that normally your rabbit should not have shed its four at 15 days. Anytime that shedding of four at 15 days happen, it means your rabbit is having pseudo-pregnancy. You understand? Before they can shed the four, it should be like maybe 3-5 days more to the delivery date. You understand? That's like 25th or 27th or 26th, or when they're getting very close to the day of delivery. But now they're just halfway of the pregnancy and they're already shedding their four. It means that it is pseudo-pregnancy. And to avoid that from happening, palpate your rabbits. Now, in cases where you saw the rabbit shedding her four when it's not yet close to when she's supposed to deliver, another thing you can do is to cross the rabbit again, because after pseudo-pregnancy, your rabbit is on its. Naturally, they are on it immediately after the fake or false pregnancy has happened. They are on it. So you cross them again, they will conceive. But like I always say in my video, so as not to get disappointed, the best thing you can do to avoid any further disappointment is to palpate them. The palpation will help you to be sure that fetus are growing and fetus is inside of the rabbit, and you are sure that she's going to deliver, because there's no how she will have babies growing inside of her and she will not deliver. You understand? So always palpate your rabbit so as not to waste time, so as to save time. So that's what I have for you guys today. I know many of you have reached out to me, but if you still have any question, you can drop your question in the comment section and I'll be there to answer you. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.